Alright, hello everybody, welcome to today's second stream. We are on Microsoft Flight Simulator. We are going from Apalachicola Municipal Airport. I'll be in the chat shortly. And we're going to Northwest Florida Beaches International. All right. So hopefully everybody's doing well on this Friday morning / afternoon. Happy Friday to everybody. So we're going to do a IFR low altitude flight. We're going to clean up the weather here in a moment, so we have some nice sunny weather while we fly. But we're gonna take off directly out of here. Go here. And then we should start making our descent and everything, go into our pattern here and land ILS runway 16. So now it will be captured in our computer, but that remains to be seen once we get in here. So it should all be in the flight computer, the Garmin flight computer. I've been watching some videos. There's quite a lot of information out there about getting your aircraft set up for IFR flight, how to plug stuff in. So we're gonna see if we get this right or not. But we're only going as high as 5,000 feet.
Alpha Foxtrot traffic Cessna 237 taking off runway 32 departure to the west.
Okay, we don't have a tower here. But we're going to go ahead and we're going to set some things up. Make sure we are ready for our flight. The weather changed to not live. So all this stuff should already be in our... Now there's a button down here. I gotta find it. I was looking at the flight plan. So it should give us that information. Okay. So it does have that information in there, looks like. Alright. So it should be a fairly straightforward flight. Alright, let's get the parking brake off. Just a little too quickly.
Tyndall departure Cessna 237 is at 300 feet, climbing 5,000 feet.
Cessna 237 Tyndall departure altimeter 29.9 continuous planned.
So I gotta find the altitude. Where is my altitude? Select altitude. 5,000 feet. Why am I doing this lazy right turn? That's kind of weird. That's not the way I had it set up. Alright, so we're on GPS. Maybe it's picking up the information now. As we climb, and then it'll probably send us towards our waypoints and all that. Hello, Mick. Welcome. All right. Doing this weird. There we go. Now maybe we should get back on track here. Alright, now I kind of feel like we're getting back on track. There we go. All right, I think we're finally going the way we want to go. All right. So, anyways, yeah. So we're just gonna cruise up here to 5,000 feet. We are not far off. We're kind of inland from the Gulf of Mexico here. Now, one of the things that I was kind of watching last night when I was looking at information and how to fly just a bit better and kind of hand things over to the so you'll notice here we have that's our cruising altitude of 5,000 feet. 3,000 is when we start to go into our descent to go into Northwest Florida Beaches International. we're basically online now. We're back going the way we want to go. That's the important thing. We've got everything kind of lined up here now. So yeah, the 3,000, that's like as we begin our descent. And then there's, I think, if we go to our, oh, come on. Wow, that totally goofed that up. What did I do? Alright, so let's find our nav log here. So it should tell us but it should have told us like our descent, like our glide slope and everything when we start capturing our ILS runway information. We have like 5,000 feet start cruising to 3,000 and 2,000, and 2,000 I think is when we hit our glide slope. Now we're just kind of cruising along here about 5,000 feet. So we're in a nice stable flight. We don't have to like tinker with the trim or anything like that. It's just like we're just cruising along. I've got my controller, I've got it sitting on my left knee here. And we just kind of look around. We can minimize the air traffic controller thing like that. And then we can just kind of have a nice flight from here, looking out across the Gulf of Mexico here. A nice Florida coastline kind of there off our left wing tip. Parts of the coastline. I went to land yesterday and there was another plane on the runway. It was like a movie. I had to pull hard out of it at the last minute. Well, and that's another thing that I've been getting so much information. I'll send you the link later on as soon as we're done, Nick. This other person who does, kind of some of these tutorials and stuff. And there's some sites that you can get free information from, and I'll send you the link to that as well, Nick. That shows like at what point is your decision point. Either you're committed to land or you're going to have to, go, basically go around. Yeah, it's a lot of information that, real world pilots use all this information. But there's sites, you don't have to have a subscription. You set up free accounts. You can utilize stuff. If you want more information, of course you can sign up, you can pay a fee or whatever. But generally it's all stuff that's out there already that'll help you plan your flight and everything. It'll tell you what information to plug in if you're I didn't know this, but you could plug in, like the other day I was kind of tinkering around with ILS stuff in the Day or TBM 930, and I didn't know I had to, it doesn't necessarily capture that information, I have to plug it into the computer, into the onboard navigation system on the Dare. So I kind of watched how to do all that. I'm going to have to watch the videos again because I was watching it last night before I went to bed and I was starting to nod off because I was pretty tired. So much information out there though. It's insane. Yeah, I'll send that to you, Mick. Yeah, there really is, and you can really get lost, with it. It's amazing, like with the train stuff, with train simulation. We don't have the ability to do all the the bits and bobs, as some people like to call it. We just do enough to get the train moving, stop it at the station, that sort of thing. So, excuse me, I need to drink water here. But this, it's so, there's so much information that you can, it's like, it's a lot to learn, but it makes everything so much better. Like, once I got this in and we got going, I don't really have to worry about flying and trying to maintain an altitude or anything right now. The plane is taking care of that for me, and that's a great thing, you know. So, yeah, but yeah, I'll give you that information, Dick. I was just like, I had to start like opening up tabs and other windows to get all this information. So yeah, it's pretty cool. So it's all designed to help, you know, people who play these flight sims kind of make it feel a bit more realistic, I think. You know, so yeah, lots of information. So I guess I must have worn everybody out on the Bakerloo line. It's kind of quiet here. Now I'm guessing this is all farmland down here. I don't really know. You know, we are near the coast, so it's probably kind of marshy. I'm not sure really what you would grow here, if anything, if you were farming. I couldn't say what's set below us, so. I mean, it does look like a lot of different farm tracks, you know, but I have no idea if that's really the case or not. You know, a lot of people do go fishing here in the Gulf of Mexico. You know, you can charter stuff from a lot of these coastal areas and go out there in the Gulf and go fishing. For what, I have no idea, but I know, I'm pretty sure that's a big business, touristy sort of thing. Yeah, that's the one thing I really like about this game. Now I feel like I've conquered, for the most part, I've conquered Train Sim World 2. You know, we've got still new routes coming out and all that. But once you kind of know you know, how to set things up and all that, it's really not overly difficult. You know, so you know, we're you know, this is a whole new challenge in figuring out how to fly better and make it more enjoyable. And you know, certainly I think when we do these mini tours, like I did up the coast of Florida yesterday, and we went over Cape Canaveral and all that, we want to fly manually because we want to be able to control the flight as much as possible, so that we can kind of, you know, do a bit of sightseeing from the air. Or like when I did the flight around the Bay Area, we didn't want to be bothered with, we're following this, but we're going to be at such a higher altitude that it's going to be impossible really to kind of make out what we're talking about. So yeah, this is certainly a much more comfortable, stable sort of way to fly. It seems like so. Alright, so we haven't really needed it. We've talked to Tyndall Approach, or Departure, we talked to Tyndall, which is the Air Force base there. We talked to their tower. They know we're here, basically, I guess. So, yeah, we're just kind of cruising along. We're not flying over the Air Force base there, which is restricted airspace, obviously, in real life. So, I don't really know what's there at Tyndall, but, yeah. We're just kind of cruising along here, heading towards Northwest Florida beaches. See if we get a, once we get on the ground there, what they tell us where we're going to park and all that. So, alright. Oh, no, 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 no. Oh, Lord, I just screwed this up. Oh, crap. What did I just do? Oh, no, no, no. Come on. Really?
Hold up. Hold up. Hold up. Hold up. Hold up.
Oh, my goodness. What did I do?
Cessna 237, you are
Oh,
27
no,
miles
no, 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 no,
Heading in altitude, expect ILS runway 16 approach via OTDOE transition. Clear to OTDOE.
God. All right, let's start that again. What in the bloody hell just happened? It's like it just went.
Kilo Alpha Alpha Foxtrot traffic Cessna
Oh my
237
God.
taking off runway 32 west departure.
That was insane. There was like no way to correct that. All right, let's try this again. All right, let's make sure. I think all of our information should still be there. So we are going to take off straight out. And then we are going to, as soon as I come in, that happens. Yeah, thanks, Mela. He jinxed us. Oh my goodness. I get so... Alright, hold on. Before we start, we're going to put in our altitude of 5,000 feet. Let's make sure we get that in right now. So as soon as we're a bit clearer, then we're going to engage the autopilot in the nav mode, and then it should just take us right toward the way we want to go. Oh, man. I don't understand it. Alright, let's go. Oh, well, I was trying to get things lined up or I was looking for a button on the dash there, and I inadvertently moved stuff, and I shouldn't have, you know, like I was moving like I was flying, and it just totally... Yeah, I don't know. That was really strange. Alright, so we shouldn't have to turn or anything, right? See, look, that's... Oh, goodness, come on now. Autopilot on. Nav move on. Alright, so now we should just be going right where we need to go.
Tyndall departure Cessna 237 is passing 600 feet, climbing 5,000 feet.
Doggone it.
Cessna 237 Tyndall departure altimeter 29.9 continue as planned.
Alright, now, here's the thing. What I was trying to do was because the cursor was over this, I was trying to move it off. Because it seems like whenever I all right. So now we should be climbing up to 5,000. All right, there we go. Yeah, I was trying to move stuff, you know, like I was trying to get the cursor off of the, like for whatever reason, I start moving the left stick instead of the right one to move stuff, and then it's like, that's my flight stick, and I forget. Alright, so we automatically contacted Tyndall, so they're aware of us. Let's try this again. Oh my goodness. Oh, man. Alright, let's make sure there we go. No, not yet. I'm hoping to get some at some point. That's on the wish list right now. I do want to get those because I feel like that would be a little bit more realistic and it'd be easier to fly than trying to use the control pad, the controller, not control pad, the controller. So. Alright, so let's just look here. It didn't capture, so if you notice before we had I don't know what happened to it. Right here we had that 5,000 and the 3,000 was right next to that, so it may arrive later. Let's turn the nav mode off. It may pop in as we get closer to the airport. I'm not 100% sure. But it may be because we've not reached our cruising altitude either. Yeah, I got the Hodis Ace Combat 7 flight. Nice. Yeah, there's one that they said was specifically made for the Xbox and Flight Sim. It's about $200, or just over $200 after you pay taxes for it and all that. So I kind of feel like that would be a good deal, but a lot of people are saying they're having problems assigning different buttons, different roles, or something like that. Now, I don't know if that's on the Xbox or if that's PC. I don't know. But no, I definitely want to get those, so... oh, I got 4 people in right now. Well, thank you all for coming in. Say hello in the chat if you feel so inclined. We're restarting this flight. We crashed. Oh boy, that was amusing. So we're on a nice gentle climb up to 5,000 feet. So our cruising altitude, probably not long by the time we get there, we'll be starting our approach into Northwest Florida Beaches International. Oh, well, I must have scared people off. They said they heard crash and they were like, "Oh, I'm out of here." So, well, hopefully everybody enjoys this. You know, accidents do happen. It's a video game. It's not real life, so it's okay. Now I'm trying to find... Oops, where'd it go? Flight director's on, the autopilot's on. So when we get closer. Okay, now the 3,000 feet has shown up. Now that we're above 3,000 feet, you see right there. So that's our beginning of our approach into the airport. There, we have to be at 3,000 feet, and we'll see. There's a way. I don't know how he did this before. Last night I was watching somebody. They did like this. This one. They zoomed out. There's a way to do it. I don't know how, and I don't want to screw anything up. But okay, here's our flight plan. So we've got we're en route. So we should have our. We pick up that information right there, and then we have that ILS approach coming in. We learn from, yeah, exactly, Mick. Wow. I look again, and it's like I guess I scared off a lot of people. Well, that's okay. Alright, so I just got to be careful with when I'm moving around and looking around. I don't want to do anything with the left stick. Everything's got to be done with the right stick, so we have our camera and all that. So yeah, now we're in a bit of a different flight path because when we took off before, we had a issue getting everything kind of set up for the getting up to altitude and all that kind of stuff. So we should start seeing pretty soon the information for the approach into that we're going to fly into ILS 16, runway 16. So now, if everything goes according to plan, right? We should be able to. The plane will kind of line us up, and then we will cut the autopilot just as we get ready to land, and I should be able to land it. You know, once it's over the runway or close to being over the runway, that's what I think, or whatever. That's when I'm gonna take over, and we're gonna try to gently land this thing. Now there's more information you could have on here. Like if we had wind, it would show you, I think, somewhere over here, like wind direction and all that. If you're flying with real world weather, you want as much information as possible. And if you're allowing the autopilot to fly, the autopilot will essentially correct. As you're going in for the landing, you need to paint the left stick red and right on do not touch. Isn't that the truth, Mick? Yeah. Well, because I get used to using both in train sim. You know, it's kind of crazy that we get so used to all that. You know. So yeah, you can. I mean, in theory, a lot of these planes that have all these avionics systems will essentially fly themselves. So if you're in inclement weather, like I watched this one streamer last night, he flew in the Dare TBM and did everything with just the instruments. couldn't see the runway until almost the very end of it's just as they came out of the clouds and everything. So yeah, it's crazy. All right, so we're near Tyndall Air Force Base again. Maybe they shot us down. That's what we're going to go with. Tyndall Air Force Base shot us down earlier. They scrambled the fighter jets and they just zipped by and shot us down, and that was the end of that. I like that excuse better than me screwing up. No, I don't. Not that they would do that in real life. Not unless you were an imminent threat, imminent danger to the Air Force Base, but you would be warned several times and not been able to, tell you to change your heading, change your altitude, or risk being dealt with in a more serious manner. I'm guessing in all reality, if I do get the Flight 6, then I'm going to have to get a laptop or a keyboard, because otherwise I'm not going to be. I don't know how I'm going to be able to use the controller for a lot of stuff either. So I would have to use a mouse and a keyboard to get a lot of stuff done, I think. So, anyways, all right. Yeah, that's one of the ones I was thinking about too, although I think they said November is when we're getting the F-18 Super Hornet from the new Top Gun movie. It's supposed to coincide with the release of the movie. I tell you, I really, last year I saw those ads, there was the first trailer and then an updated trailer came out of the Super Bowl of 2020. And yeah, I was really looking forward to going to see that in the theaters. I still want to see it in the theaters. I don't want to see it at home. I want to experience it on the big screen. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. I think we get the option to take off an aircraft carrier. I think, based on the pictures I saw, I think that's what we're getting. So that would be pretty cool if that's the case. Yeah, and I think that's a free for everybody's getting that for free. It's like a free update in November. Still lots of stuff to come in the game from what I gather.
Cessna 237 contact Jacksonville Center on 119
Okay.
decimal 1. Good day.
Way over
119 decimal 1 Cessna 237. Jacksonville Center Cessna 237 5,000 feet.
Cessna 237 Jacksonville Center altimeter 29 decimal 9 or 2 continuous planned.
Jacksonville is like
Cessna
way
237, you are
far.
26 miles southeast. Maintain present heading and altitude. Expect ILS runway 16
Okay,
approach
we're
by
cleared to
OTTOE
Oto.
transition. Clear to
Otto.
OTTOE.
Oto.
Cessna 237, you are 26 miles southeast of Kilo Echo Charlie Papa. Contact Panama City Tower on 118 decimal 9 or 5 when inbound.
Tower on 118 decimal 9 or 5 Cessna 237. Panama City Tower Cessna 237 25 miles southeast inbound ILS runway 16 approach.
Cessna 237 Panama City Tower. Altimeter 29 or decimal 9 or 2.27 entry.
All right, we got our clearance.
Runway 16 approach.
We got our clearance.
Cleared ILS runway 16 approach Cessna 237.
All right, so we should start to descend to 3,000 feet, I think. Let's find our altitude. No, No, maybe not yet. We're a little bit out from that, so they should tell us when to start descending to 3,000. So we're going to maintain for right now. Yeah, the pictures I saw when I bought the game and was downloading it, they were talking about that was something that they do. It was going to coincide with the release of the movie, that it was a free thing for everybody, sort of thing. So I think, from what I saw, it did have, like, you were on an aircraft carrier, but I don't know if that was just they were getting everybody's hopes up, or I would like to see if we could have a company to drop supplies and passengers. I kind of think, because, of course on the PC version you have way more aircraft available than we do right now in the Xbox version. But, like, there's somebody that I watch on Twitch that does, they fly the DC-6 and they have cargo. And one of the things that you can really get involved in is, if you're flying cargo, you have to balance your plane correctly, cargo-wise, for to know what you're getting yourself into. So you have to, fuel. Everything's got to be. You try to balance your plane correctly so it's the most efficient flying possible. So yeah, I mean, you can create. I don't think we can create liveries here in this game, or in this version of Flight Simulator, but it seemed like in the PC, a lot of people have created their own liveries. So you could create your own company, kind of like what you guys have done in the Truck Simulator games there, Nick. You can create your own company that will basically handle your flying cargo, for instance. And you go from one airport to the other, you drop off and you pick up, or something like that. I think there's a way to do that. I think. I could be wrong, but I think there is a way to do it. Alright, so we have to be 3,000 feet by the time we get to that marker. We still got like 24 nautical miles, so I don't think we need, getting to 3,000 feet shouldn't be a huge feat for us. So we're just going to continue on. They should tell us when to start losing altitude. I think if we went to 3,000 feet now, they would tell us to fly back up to, 5,000 and maintain. But yeah, it's slowly kind of steering us towards our initial entry point there. 22 nautical miles is our first point. So any moment now we should start our descent. Yeah, I think as far as I can tell, I think that's the case, Nick. I could be wrong, but I think there's a way that you can kind of, I mean, you can, I don't know if it's going to be like spot on 100% accurate, but you can, if you create a flight plan and all that, I don't know. I'll send you a link to the person on Twitch that I'm talking about, and you can kind of have a look at his videos. That it may give you a better clue, because I think you have more options in the PC version than we do. I think, like I feel like I've only scratched the surface of this game, even though I've been flying technically for 30 hours already. I feel like I'm lost in the sauce here. All right. Should start to see our different information coming into view on the screen here to the right. Very careful not to touch the left stick. Don't touch the left stick, Rob. Yeah, I just, yeah, I feel like there's way more stuff in this game that I have not even discovered yet. So, yeah, it's... So I think at about 10 nautical miles, we should start getting a thing saying go to 3,000 feet here pretty soon, I would think. If not, we're going to have to take care of it ourselves. But as we get a little bit closer, I'll feel a little bit more comfortable starting to lose some altitude. If it doesn't do it on its own, or we don't get the... Alright, so there's the airport. There's only one runway. It runs basically almost north to south-ish. So we are coming in from the north, facing south. So 16 is at the very top of the right wingtip there is runway 16. So we are going to pick up the localizer. We'll turn on the approach mode and all that. It should kind of give us start giving us the plane will start to capture the information. As I understand the explanation of how this whole thing works. And again, I feel like I can really lose myself. I can really geek out into this sort of thing and get lost in it. No, it's weird because when I looked at the flight plan before, it was like there was like this, okay, maybe it does almost run east to west. There's only one runway, I know that. At this, I think it does almost run north-south. Well, we should get our... instructions, but I guess maybe I need to start thinking about losing some altitude. See, it's still flying at 5,000 though. It's not losing altitude just yet. So I think it's going to do its own thing right there. Thank you all for sticking around, learning from our silly mistake earlier. Feet is after we pass this marker here, we should be down to 2,000 feet. We're going to go ahead and dial in 2,000 feet. Because that will end up having to be that's our next sort of thing there, if I remember correctly. So that'll be the minimum, I think. I'd be at the ready just in case, Rob. Yeah, I've already dialed stuff in, so we should start picking up our basically our stuff here in a moment. Looks like. So I think the plane is kind of it's got its information. So 16 is right there off the left wing tip. That's runway 16 right there. So yeah, kind of remembering what I listened to last night on the video and watched him do, I think I've got this kind of set up okay. So we're not on the final yet, so we don't have to worry. I think after we get to 3,000 feet, that's when we're going to start changing our speed, and then we'll start dropping some flaps to slow down as we come in on the glide slope. So we should see, if I remember correctly, there'll be somewhere along here it'll say GS, but we're going to turn on the approach mode, which is right there. So it's just up above vertical speed. So 1, 2, 3, up. There's approach mode. So as soon as we get into that, as soon as we hit that marker, I think then I can start getting onto approach mode, and we can start. The plane will start lining up on the glide slope. Now the way I thought I had it, or when I saw it when I did the flight planning, it seemed like there was like this kind of arc that we went around and then turned into the airport. I think so, Mick. If I remember what I saw in the video last night, of course, like I said, I need to watch it again and kind of, maybe I need to take some notes on how to set this up correctly, but I think I've got it set up correctly for this whole thing. So it should start, should turn, and then we should start losing some altitude. But I think we kind of fly past. So the airport is behind us now. We're still following this flight thing here. So I think we're going to go up, and then we're going to turn and then come back in. So I think we're okay. But we're ready if we have to. Once we get back online with the runway, if we have to cancel everything or whatever, then we're going to do that. And we're going to fly it in ourselves, basically. But we're going to let it do its thing because it seems like it knows what it's doing. Okay, now I think we're going to see that loop around up here. Yeah. So we're still flying. We're going to loop. We're going to do this kind of a left turn. Yeah, it's one of those things I think we have to kind of, it's a bit of learning how to set to get it to do that. And a lot of it is you have to either, you're looking at that rule of thumb, the rule of threes or whatever, like that one guy that when we did the A320 training thing on approach, or as you're coming into descent and all that, when do you start reducing your altitude so that you're at your correct altitudes as you're coming into the airport, or so that when they start giving you more directions, you were already there.
46415 miles north inbound ILS runway 16 approach.
Well, somebody else is approaching.
464 Panama City Tower. Altimeter 29er decimal 9er 2 wind 27 tree at tree. Cleared ILS runway 16.
All right, so that's what we're looking for, is this path here coming up. So we're going to go here, and then we're going to go to the right a little bit, and then we're going to make a lazy long left turn. So the thing is, I guess this is a busy airport. I didn't know if that was the case or not, but we're going to have, we're basically going to have to line up in turn, I guess. So I think we're okay. So things are going to be just fine. We just never got to this point in the flight last time. So there we go. We're starting to kind of go to the right a little bit. It's going to follow that track. There we go. It's following. It's turning now to the right there. So we are now going to start lining up into the pattern here shortly. We're going to fly straight for a moment, and then we'll start that lazy left turn. There we go. Leveled off. So far, so good. Don't touch the flight stick, Rob. Don't screw this up. Let's hit that red button and see what happens. Let's pull this and see what happens. What happens if we alternate the air? Or alternate air? What happens if we want alternate? What's the alternate air? Is it better air or is it worse air? Alright. So far, so good. We're going to fly straight. Alright, any moment now we should start to see that lazy left-hander. That's what I call it. I don't think it's lazy. Oh, there we go. Oh, the G-forces. Everybody handle the G-forces. Oh, it's so terrible. The G-forces. Oh, my goodness. I'm going to black out. No, I'm going to leave it alone. I'm just kidding. All right. Well, this seems to be going a lot better this time. All right, so there we are. Come on, autopilot. Let's start seeing some reduction in altitude, por favor. Still on a little bit of the left turn still, but we're almost going to get straightened out here in a moment.
464 with 273 at tree. Cleared to land runway 16.
There we go.
Cleared to land runway 16 southwest 464.
There it is. Minor correction because it oversteered a little bit. So once we get past that 3,000 feet, I think that's when I can turn on. Yeah, that's what I'm waiting for too, Nick. But I think any moment now it's going to do its thing. So we've got it dialed in. Once we hit that marker, then I can turn on the approach mode. And it should start to get us into the glide slope. If I, fingers crossed, if I remember what I heard last night. It seems like a lifetime ago last night. Oh my goodness. All right, any moment now, it should start to lose altitude. It's starting to kind of, it's keeping us lined up on that marker there. So I'm just waiting. As soon as we get past that, then I think we're going to be okay. You can kind of see a little bit in the distance the ILS flights just kind of zipping along there at the head of the runway.
Southwest 464, turn next taxiway. Southwest 464, follow the aircraft on final. Wind 273 at tree. Cleared to land run. Southwest 464, follow the aircraft on final. Wind 273 at tree.
Oh, seems like there's somebody behind us.
Southwest 464, follow the aircraft on
That's
final.
kind of weird.
Wind 273 at tree. Cleared to land runway 16. Southwest 464, contact grid. Southwest 464, follow the aircraft on final.
Seems like he's having some issues or something.
Cleared to land runway 16.
Cleared to land runway 16 Southwest 464.
Southwest 4, follow the generic on final. Wind 273.
Wow! This
Cleared
thing
to
has
land
gotten
runway
crazy.
34.
That's Panama City. Okay, or that's not
Cleared
even
to
our
land
airport.
Runway 34 Southwest 464.
You got to pick a different runway. Okay. Let's see. Approach. Let's go. Let's go approach mode now. Uh-oh. Okay. Oh, there we go. All right.
Southwest 464, exit runway when able.
You got to really bleed off some speed here. All right, so it's going to take us all the way down to 2,000 feet, but we are lined up right now. I think we've got the approach mode engaged. Let's see if it's giving us the approach mode. Nope, not yet. Oh, it doesn't say that it's on.
Cessna 237, wind 273 at tree. Cleared to land runway 16.
Cleared to land runway 16 Cessna 237.
All right, so we're gonna go down to 2,000 feet. Oh, come on! Don't do this now. Don't. Oh, okay. All right, so we're gonna get to at least 2,000 feet. So we are good on the altitude. Might have hit the approach mode too early, but I turned the nav mode off by accident. So it should start collecting up the we are a little bit high. Fast. All right, let's turn off the. All right, let's just we're gonna go ahead and just fly this in. But it looks like we did okay otherwise. We got to really bleed off some altitude though. still kind of fast. I think we're okay.
$500.
There we are. That's the way I like to do it.
237, turn next taxiway.
This is a huge runway. This runway is amazing. This is like ginormous. I think you could land a 747 here. Well, there we go. We're going to turn off here, contact ground, tell us where to go. Looks like they already got a spot for us, but we're going to turn off here, and we'll still contact ground for more.
Cessna 237, turn next taxiway.
Yeah, well, let me get there first. Goodness gracious. Light hasn't turned green yet there, buddy. That was a pretty smooth flight overall.
Cessna 237, contact ground on 121.65.
Going to 121.65 Cessna 237.
Come on.
Panama City ground, Cessna 237, request taxi to the gate.
Cessna 237 taxi to gate 35 via taxiway Alpha.
Ooh, they gave us a gate actually.
Taxiing to
Ooh,
gate
look at
35
that.
via taxiway Alpha Cessna 237.
Oh, thank you. Well, the plane did most of the work. The Cessna 172 does get some credit for and the Garmin system here does get credit for for all that. Yeah. Yeah, I like it. I definitely like it. Hello, Omela. Welcome again. I guess you've been lurking in the background to see if you cause another accident. Alright, let's see. We did have our... I think yeah, let's put our taxi lights on here. Our nose light. Well, it's not on. I'm guessing we're going to pull up to a jetway here. Yeah, that was much better, but I got to figure out, I guess on the approach there, it doesn't, there's no way of capturing the approach mode or something. I thought there was, but I could be wrong. Hello, Pithers. Afternoon. Just missed, well, we had an accident first, and then we restarted. Now we landed here in, what's it called? Northwestern Florida Beaches International Airport, and we are going to a gate, which I would assume is like there's a jetway there, but maybe not, since this is a much larger airport than the municipal that we took off from. But we're gonna pull up here and park and shut it down, and that'll be the end of that. No, it was just I was trying to look at some stuff in the cockpit, and I inadvertently moved the left control stick instead of just the right, and so it caused the plane to go into a spin. We tried to recover from it, and it just would not do it. So we restarted, flew. The onboard autopilot took care of everything. Not the AI pilot, but we filed a flight plan, IFR. It flew, did everything it was supposed to, and we lined up, and then I cut off the autopilot and just landed it. So, yeah, it was pretty darn good. Yep, there's a jetway right there. Let's call in and ask them to connect the jetway to the plane. Oh, well, I gotta pull up just a bit. There we go. Stopping the main engine. There we are. Let's see if we have an after flight checklist here. Shut everything down after landing. Parking. Let's do all this. There we go. Well, there it is. That wasn't too bad. So, yeah, better second time around. So, much better. All right, so tomorrow, oops, that's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to let's go to security. All right, there we go. Get rid of the checklist. All right, now we can end it. So tomorrow, let's take a look at where we're going to fly tomorrow. How about that? Tomorrow, let's go. Let's see, where do we want to go tomorrow? So we took off from there. We went all the way. We flew here, and we did this lazy turn. And there's. Nope, that's Panama City. Nope, we landed in there. So yeah, look at that long airfield. I bet you this used to be an Air Force base a long time ago. Probably back during World War II. So anyway, all right, so if we take off, well, that's a pretty long runway to take off from. We don't need all that runway. So let's go. Let's go from Hurlburt Field tomorrow. We're going to take off from runway 18. Right? Oop. That's our departure. That's a long runway, but we're going to come out over the water here. And we are going to fly along the Gulf here, if we can. And we are going to land in Mobile, Alabama. We're going to go runway, we're going to try runway 18. Let's see if that's our ILS approach airport. So that's about an hour flight. Let's go to IFR, low altitude. We don't need a lot. Oh, look at that. Okay, so we want to take off basically then from runway 36. So we just depart straight. Now our departure should be direct. Yep. approach. ILS, is it runway 32? Runway. That's runway 18. Runway 32's got an ILS approach, which is right there. Oh, yeah, that'd be perfect. We're going to come in right over the water. Yeah, let's do that. There we go. Look at that. So it should, when we get here, we should be lined up at that point. We'll be right on target for our landing into runway 32. There we go. So about an hour or 15 minutes. Where? Which one? Hulbert Field? No, Hulbert Field is just a regular airport. There is Naval Air Station. There's Eglin Air Force Base. And then not far from there is, over here we have Pensacola Naval Air Station. Right there. The home, or I don't know if it's the home anymore, but it used to be of the Blue Angels. They would always go, I think when we found the, where was the, is that it? No, that's barracks. When we found the museum here at Pensacola, I found it yesterday. I can't remember where I found it though. Is that it? That might be it there. But anyway, the Blue Angels used to be based out of here, out of Naval Air Station, Pensacola. But that's where all the Navy pilots go for training. Is right there. Pensacola. So there's Pensacola International. But we're going to do that. We're going to fly to Mobile, Alabama. We're going to come right across the water here. Should be a nice, really beautiful. But I think, some of these airfields that are in Florida probably used to be Air Force or, Army Air Force training bases or Army Air Corps. Sebring was a B-17 training base. So we could, you know what? So there's Pensacola. Well, you know what we're going to do eventually? So we're going to go to Mobile, Alabama, and then we're going to go to Gulfport, Mississippi. Right? We're going to land there. And then eventually we are going to go to, where to go? We're going to go to New Orleans. We're going to fly into New Orleans. We're not going to go to the international airport, but we're going to fly into this little public, like municipal airport. So yeah, we're going to do that. We're going to New Orleans eventually. And then from New Orleans, maybe we'll go to Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Fly into the Metropolitan Airfield there. We'll try to pick up an ILS runway there. So yeah, we're going to kind of just skirt around the Gulf of Mexico here. Go to Houston. Lots of airports there. But, we'll fly over the Johnson Space Center, too, eventually. Yeah, keeping the space theme going a little bit. Yeah, then we'll kind of skirt around, go to Corpus Christi, and then back in. We'll go up to San Antonio. We'll try to pick, maybe some small runways that we can land at. And then we'll go up into, eventually we'll go over here towards Tucson. We'll go over the airport graveyard there. All those planes that are just sitting there. Look at that. All that is all planes that are no longer in use. Just all there. All through here. Look at that. Just massive amounts of aircraft. Look at all that. So yeah, we'll end up in Tucson. We'll try to find an airport there, maybe not too far. Maybe just Ryan Field. And then we'll make our way back into Southern California. Eventually we'll try to land, like, if we can find Palm Springs. I'm sure there's an airport there in Palm Springs. I gotta find it though. Oh, there it is. We'll go to Cathedral City eventually. That's the Palm Springs airport right there. So yeah, we'll make our way there eventually. So yeah, we're just gonna kind of make our way across the southern part here, head west. So anyway, yeah, it's gonna be a lot of stuff to see. So hopefully it'll be entertaining, informative, fun stuff. And as we go, the intent is to keep improving our flying and utilizing the systems that are available to us to be able to fly a decent route, and, you know, kind of let the airplane handle some of the flying duties so we can kind of just talk, and I don't have to keep worrying about trying to trim the flipping aircraft out. So yeah, I think this is going to be good. Kind of just having a nice leisurely flight along here. Because, you know, by the time when I start flying, all this will still be in the sunlight. You know, of course, as we get closer to the West Coast, you know, the sun will be just now coming up. It's almost 7:30 in the morning there. So, but we can tinker with the time. You know, we don't have to use this time. We can, matter of fact, it's really 10:21. So look, if I put 10:21-ish in here, oops. That's close enough. Look how much, now it's all light out. So we can tinker with the time a little bit to make it where we should be able to have more light. So anyway, that's going to be it for today. We'll be back tomorrow. Hurlburt Field to Mobile, Alabama tomorrow. And for our flight, or for train sim, we're going to be on the Schnell Fostrecke Kolna Aachen. We're going to do that ICE 17 service finally. Hopefully we get that all taken care of. And yeah. So that's going to be it. So thank you, Mick. I appreciate that. Thank you all for coming in and hanging out. Please do leave a thumbs up if you like what you saw, and if you enjoyed it and had a good laugh, and even with our screw ups. So anyway, enjoy the rest of your Friday. I will see you all tomorrow morning, usual time on Train Sim World 2. All right, take care. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye. Oh, peace.